How's it going, everybody? It is I, and it is another episode of the Library of Ruina lore book series. Contrary to how it usually is with my recording schedule, it's actually quite late at night right now, so I'm going to wind up keeping my voice down a little bit versus the usual. I don't know how that's going to wind up working with the recording, volumes with the game and stuff, so I hope it's not too crazy. I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit anyway, because in my opinion, the music kind of kills the immersion a little bit when I'm reading anyway, during this part. So we'll put it down. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we start reading all of these key pages, because I've put a significant amount of time off camera trying to get things done. And starting up, it's mostly just going to show you guys all of the grinding that I did. Thanks to a comment left by Fly on the final video, I even did some general invitations grinding to get the last few pages before moving into Urban Plague as well. And we're just going to go down all these different floors, and I'm just going to show you what everybody is running and all this fun stuff, because here's the thing. I had commented on a couple of people before saying that I started completely rebuilding the way that I have my librarians going right now. I did a whole revamp. I did a lot of shit in terms of leveling up pages, being able to get all the different appearances and stuff like that, so that we actually have another pool of appearance transmogs to do, and all of that fancy schmancy shit, on top of fine-tuning people's builds for their abnormality pages. Now, this is something that I never really did before, and now that I have geared my characters towards what the strengths are on that floor with their abnormality cards, I've been having significantly more fun with the different builds that I've been doing. Now, mostly, this is actually more defensive than anything with Keter Floor, but I would even argue that, honestly, Keter Floor is kind of a jack of all trades. You can kind of do everything from what I have on these first two abnormalities, at least. There's not anything that it's particularly bad at, and also that floor just runs significantly better than everybody else performance-wise. I don't know why, but it does. So, I don't know what I was thinking with everybody's pages here, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, but I kind of just threw whatever on. I think I just wanted the Zwei fixer page so that it was a transmog anyway, and I wanted to see what this does. Which, oh yeah, that's right, Clash is winning, so there was a reasoning for it. I've been looking for the passives and building based off of the passives and all of that fun stuff as well. But this is kind of mostly how everybody is running. I make sure that I have a zero cost in everybody's. I've been using a lot of stay calms because I had to grind the shit out of that Olga fight anyway, keeping the usual combat preparation and defense because they're just really fucking good cards. Your shield is also great as well. And I have a lot more Sands cards than I did before, so I've been running that. I'm still running Endure, too, on a lot of different decks. I'm, of course, running Young Mi's card. No particular reason other than I just need a 2-dice character that's running in here. So I just went with Young Mi for me because I could use whatever 2 dice. And I set myself up to just continually be that defender that I wanted to be, just to be that tank. Demoad, I don't think has anything special going on here, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think it's just the same usual stuff of just buffing everybody, but a little bit more aggressive than everybody, since there's that slash damage that you get from Julia's page. Now, Netzack's is a completely different story. Now, his also has a lot of sustain and survivability, as you would imagine with Netzack, so I decided to go with Sand's page, Walter's page, and Mika's page. So one of the Walter's pages is on this floor. Mika, I want to point out, by the way, guys, is one of the most broken fucking cards ever. If you guys have never run this key page, do it when you get it as one of your non-2-dice characters in the floor, and especially if you do it in Netzack floor. I guarantee you that when luck is on your side, at least, maybe not even when luck is on your side, but for the most part, this character will never fucking die. It is damn near impossible. Run more than one stay calm. In this case, I have 3 stay calm, so you'll be spamming a lot of stay calm, which is a 3 dice, which means that you can basically intercept any attack that's thrown at you, unless it's a 4 dice. And make sure that you have a combating die for it, that is, you know what I mean? To clash with all 3 dice, so long as there's no evasions with it. And you will just keep redrawing things over and over and over again. If you take a little extra damage, it doesn't matter, because Daring Decision you will be using a lot with this card, with this key page, which discards all pages. And her passive is to restore 3 HP whenever that the character discards a page. So you will be discarding your hand frequently. This would be amazing if this was also a 2-dice card, but you know, that for balancing reasons, I don't blame that for being a thing. So yeah, unless there's an abnormality page that gives you 2 dice, but it is an incredibly fun character to run. Auntie and Soldier, by the way, you're now in the fucking corporation. You're one of the people that I have made. I love this little blushing thing that we have going on with your battle symbols, by the way, which is Drunk Fixer. It adds to the cute aesthetic that I have every time I hit the recording button. Every time. Give me a minute. Oh my god, you guys have no idea how annoying that is. I literally, like, it cannot, my phone cannot go off the entire day. The moment that I hit the record button, you're gonna hear a fucking chocobo queh. But, anyway, yeah, so that's just basically how I have you set up right now, Auntie and Soldier. You're a really good fucking sustained character, and just like a nice, cutesy character in general. I actually should go to the customized librarian to show you what I have set up here. What was I gonna go into? Oh yes, that's right. I wanted to go into the dialogue, which is just hi. A lot of fucking tildes and cutesy stuff. Just kind of a ditz, to be honest. It should balance out the medium player being kinda meh and Netzak being kind of meh. So I thought that it was a nice shift in mood. But that's basically what we're running right here. Just Walter's page, obviously, for defensive and just, you know, winning clashes and stuff. All of that fun shit. HODs, I have serious issues running. I don't have good bleed pages, and when I was trying to grind on Urban Legend floors, at least against the Zwei and against Young Meme, Olga was alright, but against those other two, I just had so much issue running these characters and not suffering way more damage than they should have. It was just, it's awful. So this is a weirdly defensive floor because of social distancing, on top of having a lot of slash damage increase and double bleeds. So this is a bleed floor, essentially, is how you want to run this, and then with a little bit of RNG mixed into it if you want to use today's expression. I have Rain's page, Dino's page, and Olga's page. Weirdly enough, Dino's page is probably one of the better setups for this one, for the extra damage on winning clashes with the slash damage increase and stuff. So this is like a really aggressive character versus others, but I still have to put in these 2 cards to deal with the Zwei. Otherwise, it's awful. If you don't have these 2 cards and you're thrown against a fucking Zwei card that has a defense at the beginning of it, you're still gonna have a rough time anyway. That was one thing I learned very quickly. So for a while, you were shirtless tattoo dude, which was hilarious, but now you look like fucking Rain, and it's great. Rain's page, I just wanted to see what he had, and this is actually a lot more useful than you would think, especially if you just burn through pages really quickly. Just burn. You will almost always have 3 cards or lower anyway, so you always have like that boost of extra damage. Rain is one of the most annoying characters in that fight for that reasoning, because he's just always strengthened thanks to his card passive. And then, of course, we have Rudy, who's going to be our character using the 2-dice page, which I think you already know that I made this character for you, so that was a thing that I did. Moving over to Yesad's floor, I don't remember how I set this one up, but I think it was just mostly slashing damage, or clashes. It's winning clashes and blunt damage, that's what it was. So a lot of these characters have prioritized blunt damage for obvious reason. Hellish Elk, you're going to be our 2-dice wielder with Mars's page. I don't really have any other reason other than, like, just Mars's page is a really good all-around card that would work with blunt on top of it, because it just works with everything. And I think I do have blunt in here. No, it is slash, block, and pierce mastery, so never mind. But, yeah, so that's what you're running. More blunt damage, all of that fun stuff. I'll End You is an amazing card. Ricky Shu, you're just running Lulu's page because burns on damage is just good. I just made this, weirdly enough, this is a really aggro floor. And then the Stray Dogs page is an amazing page for that extra blunt damage as well. So Yesod is particularly aggressive versus everybody else in here. This is a fun floor to run when you set it up right and when you get the right Abno cards. It really is. But my favorite floor of all, without a doubt, goes to Malkuth floor. Why does it go to Malkuth floor? Well, it's very simple. Daughters, you're the most crazy overpowered character in fucking facility right now. Because that 2 dice, and with Walter's page giving you so much added defensive capabilities, these 2 carry all of the damage by doing non-clash attacks for the most part. While Dada's clashes with everybody, because this card right here, Display of Affection, 2 to 4 extra power on every clash, and 0 to 2 less power on a one-sided attack. This means that Dada's can spam all of his 3 dice attacks, which there are many of that you see right here, and beat the absolute fuck out of everybody that he clashes with. And if it happens to be a defensive die, it means that you're going to deal a ton of stagger damage. Malekith Floor makes everything easy. It really does. I almost don't like using Malekith Floor sometimes because the fight is just that much easier when you throw Display of Affection on somebody using Walter's card. It is broken. And then on top of it, if you throw the matchstick on right here, that deflects damage on other people, because Dada's is not likely to take damage anyway. It's just, again, fucking broken. It's so broken, and I love it. So, alright, yeah, as you probably noticed too when I was going over everybody is a level 30 now at this point. I have done all of that stuff. We have a ton of appearance projections now, which is beautiful. It is lovely. We have a lot of things that we can make people look like now, and I'm loving it. And aside from that, I think we've pretty much gone over everything that I have done without going into the key pages section, really, guys. Just the only other thing that I wanted to mention as well, I'm looking down at a post-it note that I have on my desk right now. I apologize if I don't sound 100% as I should. But I'm hoping for, like, better builds, especially with Bleed later on down the line, but I imagine there are much better cards we'll be getting anyway from Urban Plague. But basically, I just wanted to... the only other thing that I wanted to mention was Olga's dying line. I didn't realize it until I was starting to grind for her page, which gave me even more of the sads altogether, which is that when you kill her, most of the time she will ask, oh, damn, what's going to happen to Rain and Mika? Like, just that the last thing going through her head is, oh, shit, who's going to take care of these 2? And that just... it strikes me with all of the sads. It's going to be really upsetting when I have to read their key pages down for this. So, that being said, we're done. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of these other key pages, shall we? Now, there's a certain order that I wanted to read for this. Who is the first one? I think we read all the way up to... we do not have Zwei Fixer's page. That is correct. That was why I clicked on you. We do not have Zwei Fixer's page, so we have to start with the Zwei Corporation, because I do feel like we have read Lulu's Friend. Yeah, I'm about 99% sure that we read Lulu's Friend, so I'm going to fill my water bottle, and we're going to start reading the Zwei Fixer's page, which, if you guys can't tell from me scrolling for 10 minutes right there, this shit is a fucking almanac. So, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I have my water. It is 9 o'clock at night, so let me go ahead and put on my deep red velvety voice for reading. What the fuck did I just say? Anyway, whatever, let's just continue on here. Is there a person or a group dedicated to stopping violence or murder in the backstreets? Not quite. You're on your own unless you have money to hire fixers. Protection isn't some volunteer service you can get for free. Fixers risk their lives for it. It'll take our lives' worth of money to get motivated to work. We aren't robots. If you're so afraid, why don't you hire fixers or move to a nest? You're free from all outside threats when you live in a nest, unless the nest falls, of course. Zwei Association is your shield. We protect you, your family, and your home from syndicates of the backstreets or crazed murderers. If you have the wealth to make a direct request to the association, that is. Without due payment, the association will not move. Do you believe our request fee is too expensive and you would rather request a syndicate? While making a request to a syndicate is an option, we don't recommend it. The reason is obvious. No organization in the city that operates without abiding formal procedures can be trusted. Associate fixers are classified into multiple levels too. From Section 1, which is the apex, to Section 6, the bottom. There's a world of difference in the salaries and treatment they get. I guess that's because they're much more experienced than us. If I keep trying hard, then maybe I'll be able to join Section 5 someday. It's not an easy feat to get out of Section 6, of course. It takes a huge effort, or perhaps something that can't be accomplished with effort alone. I'm a fresh member here, so there's a lot for me to learn. Still, I'm going to pick up experience as I resolve the missions assigned to me, and I'll probably figure out what to do in time. The Zwei tends to be more defensive than other associations or offices. Our main purpose is not to fight and win, but rather to ensure the safety of our clients. We don't perpetrate unnecessary killings in our duty of protecting people. Thus, if you're looking to make a request for someone's death, we recommend seeking other associations for it. Honestly, the Zwei are just a bunch of fucking gentlemen in suit. Like, they really are. Gentlemen's in suit. Yes, that's how plural works. I love the Zwei Corporation. I hate fighting those overpowered sons of bitches that always consistently roll 4 and 5 speed dice values, but dear God, in terms of the actual lore and everything that they are in the game, I fucking love the Zwei Fixers. They are lovely, lovely people. They genuinely, you can kind of fucking feel with that righteous personality, but they're aware of the situation that they're in terms of, like, needing money to get things done. And that's the situation of the world that they live in, essentially. Kind of our situation in our living world, our real life as well, too, but to a much lesser extent. Alright, so let's move over to Isadora's page and then Julia's page. This is going to be one that's going to be a little tear-rending as well, I imagine, so let's get into it. San and Julia are old fixer friends of mine, and San's from the streets of District 21, the same place I grew up in. This is a secret I've only told Julia, but San actually used to be a huge coward. It's probably not that surprising to you, since he still acts like a coward from time to time. Thinking about the old days makes me laugh, though. He'd always train himself. Though he'd always train himself, so he doesn't lag behind and end up getting scars on his face. And one time he walked into a dark alleyway saying exploration shouldn't be a problem for a brave person, even though his face was already full of fear, and then ran back to me in less than a minute. We almost got into a serious danger one time. The two of us were hanging out until after dark and ran into something nasty in a remote street. It happened when I was a little kid, so my memory... God damn it. Fuck off. There we go. Stupid mouse cursor. Where was I? Gotta scroll down first, that might help. Okay, I was a little kid, so my memory of it is pretty blurry. All I can remember is looking at San's back, standing in front of me holding a tree branch he hurriedly picked up. My heart was racing with fright, but looking at his shivering legs made me chuckle a little on the inside. I don't remember what happened after that, as I said. Why am I bringing this up all of a sudden? I don't know. I was just reminded of the old times, seeing San kneel down before the sake of his office juniors. He never changes, huh? Interesting little backstory on old Sanny Poo. Do I have Sans page? I must have Sans page. Yeah, I do. Good. Alright, I think we might read Sans after this, to be honest with you, even though it's on the next page. And then we also have Walter's page as well, if we're going to keep going down the line for the Zwei Corporation. And then who else do we have? That's about it. We just have Sans page, so... Alright, cool. We'll do that, and then we'll move over to the left side of that, and then we'll keep going from there. Alright, so Julia's page, once more. Once more with feeling. I still remember the day when the three of us met for the first time. It was when I joined my previous office. I was actually scared back then. It was the first workplace I was assigned to just after I became a fixer. I was hesitating in front of a glass door, wondering whether I should go in or wait for someone to open it. But when I heard a sound coming from inside, two people arguing with each other... Oh, I guess that wasn't supposed to connect. I decided to get close to the door and eavesdrop on them. How tight did the bonds between our fates have to be to lead us here? I mean, both you and I are first-timers. Isn't it reassuring to be with a familiar face? Not at all! When is this Julia person coming anyway? Don't tell me she got disappointed by your pathetic impression and went back already. She's not coming in because she's intimidated by your facial expression. She gave me a glance. I turned back to the tall person with an even fiercer gaze than moments ago, then kicked him in the shin and came striding along towards me. The tall person followed, rubbing his shin. As the person with pigtails got closer and closer, I found myself stepping back, even though I knew I should be saying hello to her. Soon, the chime on the door rang as it opened up, and we still for a few seconds like that, not one of us saying a word. Stood, not stew, whatever. God, I can't read tonight. This is a bad night for reading this shit, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but it was so funny to me that she was puckering her lips, just as hesitant to speak as I was. So I burst out laughing. I love it. I love Julia. She's a sweetheart. And Isadora is stoic as shit, but still a sweetheart, nonetheless. So, Sans page, I think, is on Netzak's floor, right? Correct. He has the original. Alright, and now we read Sans' story. And then we're pretty much wrapped up, man. I remember his being, no, it's not lengthy, so I guess it was just this Y card, then. An associate office is one that is in cooperative relationship with one of the associations. The advantage of this designation is that its fixers will not have to worry about starving, since they're paid a stable salary, and that the office simply has to handle tasks given by the association with proficiency, rather than having to deal with clients and accept their requests as ordinary offices do. Spending days without any incident happening in the area designated for peacekeeping can be admittedly boring, though it's a blessing to have such a peaceful day in the city. I was grateful to have such serenity each day, reasoning with Lulu's occasional complaints. Is boredom the only downside of being an associate office? That's not quite true. Because we're under the direct command of the association, we're forced to take on any undesirable tasks they give, even if it carries the risk of wiping out the office. I can't blame the association, so I have only myself to blame for failing to save my guys. Yeah, it's still an unfortunate situation. It gives you a little bit of backstory, I suppose, about the whole associate office thing that they were talking about. But, I don't know, it kind of just makes me wonder altogether. I don't remember how that cutscene rolled out about them going to the library anyway, but I don't know. Just that whole entire thing was just a series of unfortunate events that could have just completely not happened, but it happened anyway, and it was just, again, a slew of unfortunate circumstances that happened, starting with Mars probably just feeling like he needed to beat the shit out of that ordeal, so yeah, well, that was a thing that happened, and I am not as sad as I thought that I would be originally with that one, but what we need to also do is read Dino and Zulu's page, and we don't have anybody using those pages. So this is one of, like, the only two pages I haven't really done anything with, so let's go ahead and start with Dino's page, shall we? Oh, this is a nice and short one. I like it. Tattoos are the cleanest type of augment procedure you could get. I only got it because young me pushed me to give it a shot. Pretty satisfied with the result. It doesn't cost an awful lot, and it looks pretty damn nice, too. Weak-ass wimps run away at the sight of my tattoo. But you see, the coolness isn't the only notable feature of these tattoos. There's tons of tattoo types, depending on the quality of the ink and the material used. But generally speaking, you can have results like bursts of strength, or skin as hard as steel. It used to be a singularity, but ever since the wing owning the tech got snapped and its patent expired, everyone and their mother's been using it. Don't get tattoos that are too cheap, though. You might wake up and find melted flesh. You get exactly what you pay for in this city. Bastards are only honest when money's involved. Fair enough. Interesting little backstory about tattoos that I never really thought of. I was wondering about that, to be honest with you. Weirdly enough, it was a thing that I was thinking of at one point. I was like, I wonder how, like, tattoos are in this city, like, because obviously you wouldn't just have, like, a normal tattoo parlor in this universe, and it just kind of weirded me out in that sense where I'm like, tattoos is just not a thing that you had seen up to this point in time, and it didn't really make sense given the current climate of the city and all that other stuff. Like, again, just, it doesn't seem the universe where people would just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a tattoo today, you know? So, interesting that they went into detail with that one. Let's go ahead and continue on to Zulu's page, I suppose. Jesus, even shorter. Let me just drink some water here first. Even if you make your way up from the big leagues, or to the big leagues, rather, and become a decently influential syndicate, there's still loads of stronger gangs above you, and they peck at you all the time. No matter how far a syndicate climbs and tries, you just can't surpass the 5 fingers at the top. Syndicates ain't too different from fixers, in that you have to repeat the same stupid shit, following orders from above. So in my opinion, holding on to your place seems wiser than climbing up out of ambition or greed. Unless you're at rock bottom, of course. Someone's gotta be below us to serve as a punching bag, ain't that right? Fair enough, the usual, hierarchy of strength and all of that other stuff. Let's see what young me has to say about all of this nonsense, shall we? Alrighty. Some fools laugh at these accessories I'm wearing. They think I'm a glossy punk trying to look cool. Figged out with random ornaments and without a second thought. Fucking A. I am not fucking... I'm sorry. I'm not in a super competent reading mood right now. I'm a little off my rocker on top of it because I've just been used to playing other games and other stuff. Sinking a ridiculous amount of time in the new Sword Art Online game, but that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. What they don't know is that these ain't just for fashion. They're good for making arrogant idiots let their guard down. But before that, they're workshop products with real, practical uses. You heard about how people use these belts to choke others, didn't you? These accessories are similar to that. They're useful for beating someone to death, though I gotta take the risk that comes from using them. Expensive gadgets crafted by premium workshops have almost zero side effects. On the other hand, this ring, for example, lets me deliver a harder blow with my punches, but it chafes the skin off my hand in the same time. This one's on me for using it for too long, and I hear quality products usually get regular repairs and maintenance to prevent that. The side effects on my gear is pretty minor and negligible, but in worst cases, you get some poor sod whose neck got snapped by the necklace they were wearing. Huh. Interesting. What does his character look like again? Yeah, okay, so I'm not seeing anything particularly different about that, but that's fine. I was wondering what the sprite... I kind of want to go back to the sprite now that was in the picture to see if there were any, fine details about, scars or anything of the sort like that. But, interesting. So, there's just, a ton of different fucking things that just, amplify people's ability, because obviously one of the biggest things that you can really value in general in the universe of Lobotomy Corporation is, well, strength and tools and being able to outsmart people or to be able to fucking lure dumb people or people that fall for a trap or something like that so that you can win that next fight. So that basically is just the constant push and pull that you get out of this anyway. It's just that constant trying to expand your tools essentially so that you have a you don't wind up being the next person that fucking loses a fight and dies. So yeah, that's that. What else do we got going on here? Oh yes, of course, we have Molar Office, Axe Gang member 1. Yeah, Axe Gang member 1 and 2. We got Grade Fixer, Grade 7 Fixer 1, 2, and 3, and then Grade 8 Fixer 1, 2, and 3. Do I not have? I do have 2. Alright, good. Okay, so we're going to start reading from Hod's Floor then, because they have most of the pages from Molar Office when we move over to that, but we're going to be starting with... Ah, fuck, that's right, somebody's wearing that page, and it's Malkuth. I gotta start with Malkuth. Yeah, we're going to start with the Axe Gang. Actually, no, we're not going to start with the Axe Gang, because that's related to Molar Office. So, what we're going to do is all of the grade fixers. So, let's start with grade 7 then, I suppose. Alrighty. Oh, wow. Alright, we got a little bit of a summary going on here. Really, does being a fixer sound cool to you? I suppose it does sound nicer than the likes of rats swarming about in the backstreets. It does have a professional charm to it, too, but it is a tough job, I tell you. It might be better for you to try and enter a small company and do desk work instead. If you really believe that fixers are cool, then let me tell you something. Fixers have to risk their lives at every moment. I know, it sounds silly. Everyone already struggles and fights for their life, so what's so special about us? But at least you won't have to hear your friend's death while you're having lunch. You pack your favorite food, savor its taste, and when you're about to swallow it, know how it feels to choke on it? Your friend's head suddenly rolls over your feet. Things just happen like that. Syndicate grunts rush into your office all of a sudden. Heads are blown off and gruesome fight breaks out in the so-called office raid. Are you still not convinced? Syndicate or Fixer, once you set foot in this business, all the things will blind you. All the things will blind you like shackles? That's weird wording. Everything will blind you like shackles. That's all you needed to do for that. I'm sorry, sometimes when I don't read things right and then I actually notice that it's an error with the grammar in the sentence, it drives me up a wall sometimes. Continuing. Slowly dragging you to them. The sheer weight is going to tire you, and you'd no longer be willing to go back up. Go back and think again carefully. It's not too late for you to make the right choice. That's also the same thing right there. And let's go to Fixer page 3. Who said a Fixer is a free man? Must have been some no-good show-off who told you that, kid. That's just our dream and nothing more. Fixers are managed by offices. Most of our jobs come from the requests the offices get, so we're virtually out of work without them. And offices are managed by the 12 associations. And on top of those 12 is the Hana Association. Our lives are subordinate to layer upon layer of hierarchy. I'd love to hear where that supposed freedom is coming to them, because I don't see it. There's one way to achieve that pipe dream. A Fixer's freedom is only truly complete when they are given a color from the Hana Association. Don't go around proclaiming that you'll become one of the colors, though. You think it's that easy to break free from these massive fetters? Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you a little something about a little lady named Gabora. We got a color that's sitting right among us. I can't wait until I unlock that floor. It's gonna be so goddamn fun. Alright, so just a little more classic backstory about all the Fixers and all that usual stuff. So, yeah, man, yeah, I think it's like a general thing anyway that people are going over when it comes to that. Like, the general concept of not really anybody wants to be a Fixer, but you know what, whatever. It's better than other options that they had at the time, and you kind of work with what you got. Like, even Roland is kind of that way to an extent, but I mean, I don't know, something has always been a little odd with him in that, like, he seems to weirdly enjoy the fact that he's a Fixer to some way. Like, I don't know. It just kind of comes off that way, which is polar opposite to this, but also I think it's just another one of that just usual, that's that, this is this kind of mentality that he has, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. But let's move over to Grade 8 Fixer, which I should have started with, but we're going to do it anyway. Let me just make sure that this is the same as that one. It is, and then 3 is different. All people and firms generating income in this city must pay their taxes. Sorry, I just... Oh, God. God, I just thought of that fucking meme. I can't think of the phrase off of the top of my head right now. Taxes are due! The fucking British thing. But anyway, let's move on. In addition to the fund for work-related expenses, such as maintenance of equipment and monthly rent for office space, which is already a lot, Fixers must accommodate for rather heavy taxes as well. I became a Fixer trying not to starve, but the taxes have put me in even tougher hardship. Ordinary people have a hard time bearing this pressure, but what can I do in the city? Orders are to be followed. We all know what happens if we don't abide by them. Alright, and then continuing on, right into the next one. For one, to start working as a Fixer, they must acquire a license issued by the Hana Association. I didn't know that one until now, but let's continue. The first association in the order. The set of skills required to get a Fixer's license is quite different from those needed to pass wing entrance exams. One is about physical fitness, while the other is more about mental prowess, so to speak. There are exceptions, of course, but this is generally the case. After acquiring a license, the Fixer must join an office. After all, it's nigh impossible for a no-name Fixer to take jobs on their own. Choosing the right office is also important, but you can worry about that later. Only the skilled ones can afford to make choices, like decline offers from offices or ask to be transferred to another. Newcomers only just become Fixers, or who've only just become Fixers, or incompetent planks who can't handle their work properly should be content with any office that accepts them. Alright, which goes into, obviously, a grade 7 Fixer afterwards. So, honestly, I don't really have much commentary for that. I don't really have a whole lot of commentary for everything that I've been reading out so far tonight versus when we were doing the last chapter with just the story of Mars and Lulu and stuff. I don't really have a whole lot to go off of right now or anything that's on the top of my mind going on to, like, even urban plague stuff that I'm thinking might be a thing later on down the line. So, I don't know. I guess we continue on, though, with Axe Gang stuff, and then we'll move over to Molar Office. So, 5 more to go. Alright. Our syndicate's well acquainted with the guys at Hook Office. We used to chop and rip and tear together. Rip and tear, baby. That is a term specifically to Doom that I know of. Let's continue. Before they moved on to the fixer business. We were the best buddies. The 2 syndicates had a wonderful time with each other. We still do help them out sometimes nowadays, You thought fixers and syndicates were enemies for life? Well, you could say it's a long-standing love-hate relationship. Usually a syndicate causes a scene and fixers come over to take care of it. But think about it for a sec. If syndicates didn't exist, more than a half of all of the office would be out of jobs, essentially unemployed. You get it? It's a symbiotic relationship right there. So don't be so cold to us. And some fixers often cooperate with syndicates to handle cases, you know? It's not like dogs and cats constantly fight each other when they're together, yeah? That sort of logic. We do we do syndicates. We do them. We do them hard. We syndicates do the fixer things. Oh my god, fucking A. We syndicates do the things fixers can't take care of. Or dare take care of. I heard some offices straight up ban killing people, even. Something about life being precious and whatevs. It's bullcrap. Anyway, that's how syndicates and fixers complement each other. There's some crooks you'd want dead for sure, but they before they would complicate things, you see? This is a mess of reading. I'm so sorry, everybody. Man, talking about them makes me miss my old friends. Don't get to meet those pals often these days. I might as well storm Hook Office this time around. See some familiar faces. Interesting. We're getting a little bit of vibage going on from the Backstreet Butchers now. At least for me. There it is. I do want to start working on some of these purple pages up here. They're not 2 dicers, but they're still purple pages, and they look pretty good. I'm going to kill that phone one of these days. It'll cease to exist. I can't actually silence it, too, for some reason, because I know it's on vibrate. And I can't... Hold on, let me check that. Let me see if I'm fucking stupid. I am stupid. I set the media volume to go on fucking nothing. Beautiful. Alright, there we go. My apologies. If you think syndicates are nothing more than gangs of ugly and bad guys, then let me tell you that that's an outdated bias. Of course, we're freer than fixers who have to follow orders and requests from associations. A lot of us kill people and do some wicked shit for the sake of cash, I'll give you that. But others aren't too different from your average fixers, I'm telling you. We get requests and solve problems, though our group's moral compass is, tilted a bit to the dark side, so I can't give you a good example myself. Right, some syndicates actually do heroic stuff. Syndicates hunting syndicates. I asked him, hell man, why aren't you guys just becoming fixers instead? And they said, they don't really feel like it. Since they don't really want to get tangled in formal stuff, and there's just too much to prepare to get a license for and everything. Well, who's to say syndicates can't be good guys, right? We're living as we like in the backstreets. Fair enough. Fair point. But I'm still getting a Backstreet's Butcher vibe, and I don't like it. So, starting with Rain's page, and then we'll move over to... we'll start with Mika's, actually. We'll start with Mika's page, because then I can move over to Hod's floor, and then we don't have to swap people anymore. Alright, Mika's page. Drink a little bit of Wawa. And we'll continue. Every useful workshop technology is patented. The city strictly forbade making or selling products using technology patented by another workshop without purchasing the rights to it. If anyone infringes on this regulation and still uses technology they shouldn't have access to, they will receive a cease and desist letter up to 3 times. When you receive the warning, you must pay off all profit you've earned through the infringement to A Corp as a fine. Why A Corp, of all places? Because that's the corporate in charge of managing and granting all patents. It's the head we're talking about. In any case, you can't pay the penalty. By the 3rd warning, the claw will tear you down. Oh, the claw, you say? To tell you the truth, yes, I'm the daughter of a small workshop owner. My father dreamed to make his little brand famous one day. Its name was... Sorry, I don't feel like saying it out loud. It's long gone. So you get nothing, even if you look for it. That's right. As I explained moments ago, if you can't spit out the money you illegitimately earned from manufacturing or selling products using stolen technology, punishment awaits. Wait, listen to my story to the end. My father was a victim of fraud. His friend gave him a technology and asked him to make weapons for his office out of it, so he made them per his request. He didn't even realize that the technology was stolen from someone else. He'd already sent the weapons to the office, and when he was waiting for his friend to test them out and transfer the payment, a cease and desist was sent. You can guess the rest of his story. So that explains why she is pretty much being watched by Olga then right there. That sucks. That sucks, dude. Yeah, dude, that sucks. Interesting little fucking, like, perspective to throw right there, though. So, like, she literally lost her fucking dad. Dad, right? Not father? Not, grandfather? Yeah, my father. That blows, dude. And we just killed her, so... Yeah, let that one set in. Alright, well, let's move over to Rain, then. Rain... Tell me, why are you an orphan? Let's find out. Alright. When an office accepts a request, an official deed of contract must be drawn up before the case can be dealt with. It sounds big, but it's basically just a mutual promise. I think it's consideration in legal terms. The client will pay a certain amount of money as reward, and the fixers will do their best to resolve the case. They're plain and natural clauses for the most part. It seems people in the city are prone to breaking promises as simple as those without a contract to bind them, though, In any case, contracts serve as physical evidence to prove our performance and secure our payment when we submit reports to the association. Without a contract, there's no assurance that we'll score a record for our career to get our due payment. To give you an example, Big Sis resolved a big case the other day, but we got absolutely nothing out of it because she forgot to sign a contract for it. Requests made by wings are quite different from those assigned by the associations in several aspects. You'll be made the envy out of everyone once you get a request from the wing. First of all, a wing commissioning a regular office indicates that the office has been recognized to be worthy of its trust, and that alone can be a significant achievement. You'll have something to brag about to the other fixers, and the payment is big as well. A single request from a wing resolved can keep us afloat for 3 months minimum. If I must be honest, however, I'm rather unnerved. As rewarding as work given by the wings can be, there's significant risk associated with it. Imagine how dangerous and difficult this mission may be if R Corp, a wing specializing in combat, requested us to resolve it for them. Big Sis happily accepted the job, though I still can't help but be worried a little. Still, I hope it goes well. So I guess that's what happened then, is what that's alluding to. That was a thing that they were given as... I guess they're given commissions frequently, or more than once, to keep them going from the head itself, and they were given that from R Corp. Interesting. And now R Corp, that's one of the corporations, one of the 12 corporations, like the Zwei, Hana, etc., all that fun shit, if I'm correct, right? So somebody let me know that one later on down the line. I just want to make sure that I'm on point with all of the buzzwords and the keywords and stuff that I need to be knowing. But I'm pretty sure R Corp is just one of those. So Alright, I didn't get any information about who Rain is, but we may still yet get that from Olga's page. So, let me drink one more fucking bit of water here. How fucking long has this been going on for? Oh, yikes, this is a 46-minute recording session so far. Alrighty. Well, let's get a move on then. Oh, wow, this is one hell of a reading here. Okay. Mio and I are old friends. I honestly don't remember how our first meeting went, other than being Backstreet buddies, but It just goes to show how long our friendship's been, don't it? We've done requests together, been in life or death situations together. We've been too busy to contact each other often ever since I moved to this office, but then Mio called me out for a date one day. Maybe it was because I got to drink with my old friend after a long while, or maybe it was the honor of having a seat with the most famous captain of the rabbit team, but I was in a mighty good mood. I was taking swig after swig of booze. Rain would have scolded me for sure if I went back as drunk as a broom. I felt that. But what happens... Goddamn. But that happens all the time anyway, so I didn't care much. How's it going? So, how about you? Same as you, lass. After some meaningless chatter, Mio gasped, like she remembered something and started skimming through her fanny pack. Then she gave me a shot. Then she shot me a stealthy look. I'm gonna ruin this whole entire reading right now, and it's pissing me off. Psst, Olga, come closer. We don't want anyone peeping at us, so stick right next to me and stay quiet. You're the noisiest one here, and you already stick out like a sore thumb, so just say it already. You're not a woman of style, are you? It's more fun to talk like we're secret agents exchanging confidential info when we're discussing topics like this. It's a stylish way. Forget it. Our Corp has been investigating something of late. Are you giving work to our office, or are you just bragging? By the way, I guess it's pretty serious if our Corp is paying attention to whatever that is. Just how big is it? Oh, I heard people's been going missing lately. Does it have anything to do with that, or... Shut up and listen for a sec. You always have too much to say. Here's the deal, Olga. I've got a lush grassland to show you. So graze it to your heart's content, and bring some of its veggies for me. How's it sound? Some words she chose. I clicked me tongue and took a close look at the black card and warp train tickets Mio pushed to my side before drinking my glass and agreeing to give it a go. I wouldn't have taken it if I'd known it'd bring us to this complete lunacy. Yeah, I'm still wondering what Mio's like, what's her angle on that? Is the thing. And that was the phrase I was looking for, by the way, a while ago. Many episodes ago, guys, and I was saying about, like, what Angela is thinking and where she stands with things. That's the phrase, the exact combination of words I was looking for is, what's your angle? So, yeah. That's really all that I wanted to go on a tangent for right there. I could have just clicked that. I could have just clicked that and read all of the pages on it. I'm so fucking mad. Well, alright, well that's a thing that could have happened. So, yeah, that's just the one thing that I am still wondering right now, is I want to know what Mio's angle is on all of that shit going on with Olga right there. And I can't wait to see more things unfold with how it's going to work with the plot line, especially with Angela actually trying to live a little bit, essentially, like, you know what I mean, and actually exposing a little bit more of her personality and being a little sweeter to to Roland, which was something I was not fucking expecting in the absolute slightest. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things I can say about Angela as a character, but personally, I have always really enjoyed that character ever since the fact of the matter being that I had found out about this game through the video that I had watched, that fucking, I don't know what to call it, I'm sorry. When I get flabbergasted and can't think of the words that I'm trying to say on the fly, I just say fuck a lot and then just start the fucking with the this, and I don't explain it well, so my apologies, but that video that some of you have probably seen with the animation about that Millie song, Execution, kind of just being slapped into being thrown on Angela to kind of... because it's a weirdly fitting song for Angela. That was what got me into the game to begin with, and since that, I've always loved Angela as a character. Like, I really do. I honestly, genuinely love that character. And I just want to learn more about her and what her ultimate plan is for this from the get-go. And I swear to goddamn Christ, if Roland betrays her in the end and becomes an absolute dickbag for whatever reason, because some people are spectating based off of his clothing too. I apologize if this winds up being like some kind of a foreshadowing spoiler or something for later on, but I know no more of it than anybody else who would say it though, but based off of his clothing, like, he's weirdly very similar in appearance to the Claw. You know what I mean? So some people are thinking that that might have something to do with it weirdly, but I don't know. The thing is, we aren't going to know until the end. It's like a Danganronpa kind of thing. You're not going to know until they blow their load and explain it to you. It's just, that's how the game is. But like I said, I'm going to be absolutely fucking pissed if we were not supposed to trust him from the get-go and he just does this really generic fucking I'm the bad guy all along kind of thing. Like, they kind of tried to play off with Angela, but then they reverted back on that one, and she's actually not a bad guy at all. She's just really lonely and wants to actually live a life for a change, so she's not really a bad guy. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be really annoyed if they do like a generic villain thing with Roland. But yeah, so just let that one sink in. If he betrays Angela in any which way like that and breaks her heart by the end or something like that, he's fucking dead to me. So, I will see you guys later. And how did I end this video last time? I did some stupid fucking catchphrase or whatever. That's what it is. So, I will see you in the next Library of Ruina lore book. And may you find your book in this place. On one final side note, guys, I realized as I was going through here when we were going through all of the different transmog pages, there was one page that I did not read through, and that was the Stray Dogs page. So we're just going to have to pick that one up right in the next fucking lorebook episode that we wind up doing. My apologies, I literally just completely forgot about it. That is just such a forgettable card of everything that I literally didn't even cross my goddamn mind when I was doing it, even though the Stray Dog page is being used by YesHUD currently. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to pick that one up in the next fucking video and just try to remind me that one when we get towards the end of Urban Plague. So, I will see you guys later. I have some shit to do in the new Sword Art Online game because I need to make some other videos and stuff particularly to that game, and just there's a lot of videos coming for other games that I need to start actually working on, but I get lazy, I sit down and I never do anything with them. There's a lot of like Metroidvania-y game content on its way, just letting you guys know. If you guys are into like fucking Castlevania Symphony of the Night and games that are similar to that, then I got 2 treats for you that are going to be coming up real soon, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're going to fucking finally cut this one hellishly long episode off right here. So finally, take it easy, guys.